The Texas teen heading to Harvard, making history at his school. Davion Tatum was the first black male valedictorian at Houston's Westfield School.
Senior Davion Tatum had a dream long before he ended up at Spring ISD's Westfield High School.
Is it ever overwhelming what you have been able to achieve as a student?
You're gonna have people who don't understand your path. But when you're on a path that has never been walked before, it's not for them to understand, but it's for you to persevere.
Davion Von Tatum.
I went to Thompson Elementary School, then Clyde Middle School, and then Westfield High School. I was kind of exploring different things that I like to do, and I was really, really young, and I was like, wait, I really like math. So I went in, and I was like, okay, Mom, I want an algebra book, just to explore and learn what I like to do and what I didn't like to do, but also challenge myself. And I've had that idea, I guess you can say, about challenging yourself, pushing yourself, even in space that you are not necessarily comfortable in. That book was originally written in 8th grade to address some of the concerns that I had as it pertained to stereotypes, stigmas, social injustices that I was witnessing, and not only to address them, but to give tangible action items to rectify them through inspiration, through motivation, through compassion. Sometimes that book is a reminder to even myself. And it's so important to know, wait, I can do whatever I set my mind to. My success is not limited by what people say it is. There is no glass ceiling here.
I wasn't upset when I was looking.
It's okay, we did the total 7.
My counselor will tell you this, because she was my counselor all 4 years, Miss Yvonne Brown. She'll tell you I was in her office every single day. Every day. What's my GPA? What my class is looking like? What's my rank? And they said, if you keep doing this, you may be Westfield's first black male valedictorian. And I was like, oh snap, all right, let's focus, let's lock in. I remember there was a concern I had about affording college, and I was very blessed and very fortunate that my story resonated with enough people that said, hey, we want to help fund your journey to college, we want to help fund you. And through that, and through all of the institutional scholarships that I got, the financial aid that I got, the local scholarships that I got, as well as the national ones that I received, I was able to accumulate over $1.3 million.
And you are going to have a scholarship of $20,000.
Hey, Princeton!
I didn't expect that.
Ivy Day is when all the Ivy League schools release their application decisions, which is a very stressful day for a lot of hardworking students who have very high aspirations and goals of getting into Ivy League schools.
I got into Harvard.
I started to do a little bit more introspection and realized, oh wait, I actually have more of an interest in the intersection of STEM and society. So not just the science, but also how it impacts people's lives. And ultimately that led me to go to Harvard. Everybody is just regular folks, regular people. You may sometimes see Harvard as this unattainable thing. And I know there's a saying that says the H is much bigger, farther away. You realize the difference is exposure and opportunity. And I want people to know that those opportunities are there. It's present, it's possible to do those things. So my biggest takeaway from going to Harvard, moments like that, even when it comes to the 10-hour study days, those days were draining and exhausting, but also they reminded me, like, I can do this though. I can. I'm gonna put that work in, I'm gonna do it. If I see someone else that does it, I know it's possible. And I feel like a lot of times the face of possibility is what's the most important thing to display. Representation matters, and when you see it, you can achieve it.
Davion Von Tatum, double concentrator in integrated biology.
I don't want people to look at one student who did amazing things as an anomaly or an exception or an aberration. I want you to see it as the standard, as the possibility, as something you know can be achieved by every student you look at that walks through these halls, every student you look at that is in your class, that could be a next Harvard student. Oh my goodness. 4 years will change a lot. The desk used to be over there, and Mr. Bruno would sit behind that desk, he'd grade everything in the moment, and he'd call me and say, Davion, 98. Oh, you missed 2. And I'm like, Mr. Bruno, come on, why are you doing me like that? But I love that class. That actually was a class that kind of re-sparked my love for math and science. Bringing back so many memories. Stop. So I am now on the board of directors of the Spring Education Foundation. I was the youngest person elected to the board of directors, which I'm so honored to be part of the organization, but also part of the work and movement that they're trying to do and the new work they're trying to implement going into this next school year. Ideally, what I'm focusing on is mentorship programs, but also community engagement. Bringing the resources of Harvard back to my community, bringing the mentorship programs of Harvard back to my community. I've seen what it looks like to have a mentorship program that builds lifelong relationships and connections that people can rely on, that students can lean on, mentors they can depend on.
I'm so honored to be invited back to the school district that raised me. I always say Houston born, but Spring ISD raised.
The reason that I keep getting up and keep doing what I'm doing is because I told myself, I challenged myself, same way I challenged myself in first grade with that algebra book. I will no longer be deterred by all the problems that I see happening around me. I'm gonna be determined to fix them.